Ireland's government once again proposing hate speech laws in the wake of anti-immigration protests and fiery riots in Dublin last week. Those riots were in response to the stabbing of 3 children and a teacher outside of an Irish Catholic school in the middle of the day Thursday, November 23rd. The stabbing suspect, a man in his late 40s, originally from Algeria and now an Irish citizen, had lived in Ireland for the last 20 years, according to the BBC. He was arrested and is currently hospitalized. After the attack, rumors about the suspect's immigration status were posted and spread on social media, encouraging those upset about Ireland's current immigration laws to rise up. Rioters converged on central Dublin, setting fires to buses and cars. They destroyed 11 police vehicles, damaged 13 shops, and looted stores while clashing with police. Out of the nearly 500 protesters, 34 people were arrested. In response, Ireland's Prime Minister said the government would modernize their hate speech laws.
I think it's now very obvious to anyone who might have doubted it that our incitement hatred legislation is just not up to date. It's not up to date for the social media age, and we need that legislation through, and we need it through within a matter of weeks, because it's not just the platforms who have a responsibility here, and they do. There's also the individuals who post messages and images online that stir up hatred and violence, and we need to be able to use laws to go after them individually as well.
So what does this modernized anti-hate speech bill entail? The legislation, titled Criminal Justice Incitement to Violence or Hatred and Hate Offences Bill 2022, was first introduced in November last year. It's currently making its way through the Irish Parliament. If enacted, the bill would prohibit the incitement of violence or hatred against a person or group of persons on account of certain characteristics. Those characteristics being race, color, nationality, religion, national or ethnic origin, descent, gender, sex characteristics, sexual orientation, or disability. The bill states a person shall be found guilty if they prepare or possess material that is likely to incite violence or hatred against a person or a group of persons on account of their protected characteristics, with a view to the material being communicated to the public or a section of the public, whether by himself or herself or another person. The bill also states a judge can issue a search warrant of an alleged perpetrator's property if law enforcement believes there's enough evidence against that person relating to a hate speech crime to search and seize their and their family's belongings, including electronic devices, documents, and diaries. Law enforcement could then force the perpetrator to log into their devices and hand over their passwords to operate them. Critics of the bill find this to be alarming, as the bill does not define hate. The bill states hatred shall be understood as referring to hatred based on race, color, religion, descent, or national or ethnic origin, which is a circular definition since the bill defines hatred as hatred. So what constitutes as hate under the bill? We aren't sure, and neither are critics who are pushing back. In Ireland, Senator Sharon Cogan, an independent, has been speaking out against the proposed legislation.
Section 9 establishes that in order to be put into jail for having incited violence, you don't actually have to have incited any violence. This is clown world stuff. The law is there to protect people. What we have here is a draconian legislation which can put you in jail where not one single person has been harmed or victimised.
In the United States, billionaire businessman Elon Musk describes the legislation to be very concerning, writing on his social media platform X back in April that this bill is a massive attack against freedom of speech. Musk also vowed to file legal action to try and stop the bill from becoming law. Meanwhile, in the wake of Ireland's riots, UFC champion and Ireland native Conor McGregor is reportedly under investigation by the Irish police for comments he posted on X criticizing the Irish government just before and after the stabbing attack.